from what it cost you to get somebody. My goal is within 30 days. Why? Because just about every business owner, at least in America and at least the developed world, can typically gain access to a credit card, which gives you 30 days of interest-free money. Now, the reason that's important is that if you have interest-free money, then it means that you can grow without money out of pocket. And that allows you to have limitless growth. If I can take $100 of credit card money, which I don't have to pay anything for until the end of the month, and I can take that $100 and go get me a customer, and at the end of the month, make that $100 back, then at the end of the month, I owe no one anything, and I now have a customer. That is the power of this. Now you can repeat that ad infinitum, which is Latin for lots of times. It's into infinity, but let's not get too technical. So the reason that I use that as my rule of thumb is for that very practical reason. Now, you might think to yourself, well, our payback period is 90 days. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the same as like, we had LTV to CAC at gym launch of 100 to 1. It didn't stay 100 to 1. It was 100 to 1 the first year, right? And over time, it ended up being somewhere in the neighborhood of 30-ish to 1. But the idea, because as you scale, more levels of infrastructure will get introduced to the business. And so that will drive down operating margins, and that's okay, as long as you have a business that scales. Now, back to payback period. I want to shift the perspective on this, which is that like, even if you currently spend and get paid back in 90, you should still think to yourself, like, is there a way, is there a money model, is there a setup, is there a configuration of pricing and products of what I currently have without introducing operational drag or too much operational drag that could pull cash forward? And functionally, this is literally what the entire book for Money Models was about, was driving more cash flow forward. Now, if you have a business where you're funded from the outside, A, or B, you're a very large business that has huge capital reserves, you have a huge base of recurring customers, then you can get more aggressive, of course, right? Like if you're gonna go head to head with Apple, then sure, they don't need to get their money back in 30 days. I mean, they are a bank at this point. Like they can borrow money from the entire world and fund whatever they want. But for, again, everybody who's watching this, most of you guys are bootstrapped. Actually, can we do a poll real quick? All right, let's say who here is bootstrapped versus has investors? That's it, bootstrapped versus investors. Okay, great. So 1 out of 25 of you guys, you don't have to worry about the payback period, but you still should. Which is all the investor bros. Now, all the guys who have outside investors, I promise you will get investors frothing at the mouth if you can show that you can get payback period within 30 days, number one. Number two, if you have payback period within 30 days, guess what you also don't need? Investors. Because you don't need their money to scale, which gives you a huge amount of leverage into when you're getting into your fundraising period. Now, that's the 1 out of 25. For the other 20 out of 25 of you who are bootstrap business owners, y'all are like me, which is that Bank of Alex is what's funding this stuff. And so we have to think, are there initiation fees? Are there setup fees? Is there an onboarding process? Is there an on-ramp? Is there a front-end defined program or setup that I can sell? Can I bundle in some sort of physical product up front with my services? Can I sell a bundle of an extended period of time to cash flow at day one? Can I do a buy one, get two? Can I get them to pay for the last month up front? All of these are different tactical versions of solving for the same problem, which is I want to pull cash forward so I can recover CAC within that first month. Because when that happens, I'm telling you, like all of my businesses, every single one that's gotten really big, we've been able to recover what it costs us to get a customer in the first 30 days, period. So it's the strongest recommendation I can give you. All right, with that being said, let's go. That's a 6. There you go. Rule number 7, gross margins. So gross margins are wildly misunderstood, which is interesting. If you are a business owner, you have to learn the language of business. All right, it is for sure. There are different languages, but there's not a huge amount of words you have to know. You might need to know like 100 terms. And think about this as like you were studying for a test, right? Like learning 100 terms, not that hard to understand. And almost all of them are relationships between two things. That's what almost all of these terms are. So what is gross margin? It's one word that's a relationship between two things: how much you charge and how much it costs you to deliver the